This is 6.2, lesson 1. So for this lesson, we are going to identify rational and irrational numbers. So to define rational numbers, we can say it is a number that can be written as a fraction. We have given lots of examples of rational numbers. So we said a rational number can be a fraction, like 1/2. It can be a mixed number, like -3 2/3. It can be an integer, like 2. It can be a percent, like 70%. And it can be a terminating decimal, like 0.45. And it can also be a repeating decimal, like 0.3 repeating. So what is an irrational number? An irrational number cannot be expressed as a ratio of integers, which means that it cannot be a fraction. It cannot be written as a fraction. Irrational numbers will never be repeating or terminating. So repeating like 0.3 repeating, or terminating like 0.125 where it just stops. The most common irrational number is pi. And here's just some of the first few digits of pi. So why is pi irrational? Well, pi is irrational because it goes on forever. And it does not repeat. There is no repetition to these numbers. There is no pattern to it. So number 1, approximate the value of each to the nearest tenth. So we're going to approximate pi to be about 3.14, the first, or out to the hundredths place for our decimal. So we have 5 times 3.14. When I multiply, 5 times 4 is 20. Carry my 2. 1 times 5 is 5, plus 2 is 7. And 3 times 5 is 15. And I know I need the 2 numbers behind my decimal place. So my decimal is going to go in between my 5 and my 7. So it says to the nearest tenth. So we're going to say this is about 15.7. Our next one, we have pi plus pi. So we have 3.14 plus 3.14. When we add these, 4 plus 4 is 8, 1 and 1 is 2, 3 and 3 is 6. Again, I went to the nearest tenth, so this is going to be about 6.3. We round our 2 up because 8 is 5 or larger. Then we have pi divided by 2, so I'm going to have 3.14 divided by 2. 2 goes into 3 once. When I subtract, I'm left with a 1. 2 goes into 11 5 times. It gives me 10 with 1 left. Bring down my 4. 2 goes into 14 7 times. So I have enough to round to the nearest tenth. So this is going to be about 1.6. Number 2, is each number rational or irrational? So letter A, 0.6 repeating. Repeating numbers are rational. Letter B, 3/7 is a regular fraction. Regular fractions are rational. Letter C, I have a decimal that goes on forever, so that is irrational. And letter D, I have 1 over pi. Anything dealing with pi is irrational. There's only one exception, which is pi over pi. And pi over pi equals 1.